our pre-podcast podcast. So today we are going to discuss, this is our pre-planning podcast for our upcoming podcast. My name is Sarah Douglas, and these are my children, Sydney and Phoenix. A little bit about myself is I'm the mom, of course, and a Gigi. I have a 2-year-old granddaughter. My children many times call me Miss Moneybags, a risk taker. Occasionally, I am a bane to their existence. And at heart, I am a serial entrepreneur who's always evolving and ever expanding, refusing to be defined by just one thing. Currently, I wear many hats. I am a realtor, I'm a real estate investor. I am also a neurolinguistics programming and hypnosis therapist. And now, I'm a co host of a podcast. So, this is a new chapter in my life. It's really about me tapping into my higher consciousness and learning to be authentically me. I've done a lot of training over the last year and a half to achieve this new, what I call this new Sarah. I'm authentically wanting to be happy, learning to really enjoy love, happiness, and just joy in my life. I have a great need to help others, and that's why I love real estate, is helping people to increase their net worth, change family dynamics, and generational wealth. However, with neurolinguistics and hypnosis, I've now learned to help people really clear out all the negative energy that's trapped inside of them that can be passed down through generational trauma or childhood trauma, which we're going to really talk about on our show, about the programming that happened to me by my parents, my grandparents, and then how I turned that really negative, terrible programming and I programmed my children with that. And so at my age, I have reprogrammed my mind to be in a better state constantly and a new outlook on life. And now I want to teach my children some of the benefits of learning how to reprogram their own minds moving forward with the help of NLP and hypnosis. Because I really truly believe that changing your present moment can change your past. Though we can't go back and change what happened, we can have a new perspective on what we learned from those situations, childhood trauma, past relationships, accidents, things that were terrible that happened to us, and really taking a different perspective on that and changing who we are in the present, moving in the future. So that's essentially just rewriting our futures. So I'm going to introduce my son, Phoenix. He is my firstborn and gave me my very first granddaughter, Jade. So this is Phoenix.
My name's Phoenix. I am 26. I am a single dad. Welcome to our podcast. I'm gonna discuss a little bit about myself, a little bit of the journeys, things I'm kind of interested in. I am, and a little interested in what my mom is doing. I do aspire to get into the real estate business, especially off all these TikToks that everybody's saying, get in, get into, get into. So I'm pretty excited about this. A little bit about myself. I have a little girl, like she said. Her name is Jade. She's wonderful. I don't know where she gets her little attitude from sometimes, but I'm assuming it's me. I'm a little bit on a little fitness journey here. I've been keeping up on my progress, stuff like that. Um, I mean, it's about what I got so far. Kind of get into when we get into this a little bit.
Okay.
You guys will know about more about me. I'm kind of an open book, but you gotta kind of turn the pages. I'm not just gonna let it out. So, yeah, that's about me.
All right, so this is my daughter, Sydney, and she is my baby. She's always going to be my baby girl. And this is my daughter, Sydney Douglas.
Hi, I'm Sydney. I'm 21 years old and I have no idea what I want to do with my life. I graduated high school within COVID, and then I got the amazing opportunity to go and move to New York for 2.5 years. And I did that freshly when I was 18. I had the best time of my life, and then I came back home. And now I kind of just work and stay at home, read books, kind of just going through the flow for a while. But I'm excited to do the podcast and talk about some amazing things my mom has been doing and some of my stories, and hopefully it can help out other people my age. So, yeah.
That's awesome, Sydney and Phoenix. Thanks for sharing who you guys are. Next, we're going to talk about why this podcast exists and why it's going to be important for you guys to follow us on our journey with this podcast. Um, Number one, it's our desire to improve our community and also have an outlet where we can bridge that generational gap of communication, healing, and literally talk about the trauma um, and the childhood experiences that programmed these young people and myself into who we are today, and that you don't have to live that way. You get to choose the programming that you put in your mind. So, for me, this podcast is going to really bridge the generational gaps between the 40s, soon to be 30s, and the 20-year-olds. So we all hear about how this generation is lazy and doesn't want to do stuff. They have no inspiration in life, but I actually have a completely different view on why yours and my 20-year-olds go to work and come home and do nothing else. I actually think there's a bigger underlying story here rather than just functional freeze right now that's all over the place. Um, I also want to experiment with ChatGPT. So, this entire podcast, we are dedicating 24 episodes to following ChatGPT and expanding our businesses, our mental health, our communication and connection with each other moving forward. We're basically going to do whatever ChatGPT tells us to do starting tomorrow morning. So, we're going to go over some of those things later with you guys. I want to draw on my training as a neurolinguistics programming and hypnosis master um, to help show my children and also you guys how simple reprogramming you can do at home or with help. I want to build a brighter future for my children and rewrite the patterns that I installed in them. I did it. I programmed them to be this way, and it's now my job to help them unprogram and relearn how to be better humans for themselves, not for me, but for themselves. We're going to share our current realities, like what we're really doing right now. And then we're also going to share our challenges and step by steps how we create a positive change moving forward over the next 12 months. All while we're laughing, healing, and growing together as a family. So, Sydney, what do you want to do with the podcast?
Okay. I'm kind of winging it here because all my notes are all the way over there. But that's okay. I want to do for the podcast is advocate for the people my age on how, yes, we got our degrees and yes, we finished school, but we're already burnt out by the age of 21 to 25, 26, and we're all in this like little funk and we kind of don't know what to do, and we go out with our friends, we go out and party, but we say we're having fun, but we're like not really having fun being there. And I definitely had that feeling when I was out of town last weekend and I went bar hopping, and I was smiling, laughing, having fun, but as soon as someone stopped talking to me, I was like, I want to go home, I want to go to bed, knowing that I should be having fun and knowing the experiences that are in front of me and enjoying it, but it's hard because I feel like our generation, especially all the way up to my brother, um, we were just born with disadvantages. Like, come on, like we had to do high school through quarantine. We had all these things throughout our childhood for us to adulthood just be so negative, and we have to work through it, especially, and I don't want to get too much into it because it is the first episode, But like with the economy these days, like we cannot keep up with this world because it's moving too fast when every time we try to keep up, it pushes us back down. So it's always like a one step forward, two step back type of situation all the time. So I definitely want to talk about how we can all get through it together and what we can and do to make our lives a little bit more simpler instead of thinking about the big picture 24/7 because that's what I have a problem with. Like, I want to do this when I'm older, but that's all I think about and not the steps to get there, so it stresses me out 24/7 and all I want to do is sleep. And that's about it.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
So when you go out and have fun or go to work and you're functioning, um, in when you said that as soon as someone stops talking to you, you feel like, hey, I want to go home and go back in bed. So internally, what does that feel like? Just for a second, is it a void of nothingness? Or is there actual negative emotions attached to that? Like, I don't want to be here, or I'm feeling sad or hurt. Like, what in that feeling of, in the midst of having a good time, all of a sudden it hits you, I'm ready to go home, I'm done. Like, so what's the feeling that's attached to that? An actual feeling.
Uh, I don't know because I would definitely say it's a mixed emotion between, it depends for me. I don't know about anybody else, but for me, it depends who I'm talking to. If I'm talking to a different guy, then sometimes it could just be like a terrible negative feeling. Or if I'm talking to another girl and then like we get onto a certain situation and then it's kind of like, how do I describe it? You know, like when your ears ring and
Like
it's just
someone's
like
trying
that
to,
pinging ring
yeah.
and that's just it.
But
It's
you're
like
feeling it
it's
in your
nothing,
body?
but it's in my body. It feels like nothing.
Got it.
But sometimes, um, it doesn't happen all the time when I'm out, but like, it, I would probably say like 7 out of 10 times, which
And
is still a lot for me.
and are you feeling like you're being drawn back to your home? Like you want to go home. There's a desire to go back home.
Yeah, definitely. Now it could always just depend on where you're going. Like if you go out to to a house party and you go there and you're just like,
Oh
yeah, the
man,
vibe's
you've been
not
to one of
it.
those in
Like
years.
that's something totally different.
Yeah.
But like if everyone's having fun and you know that like on the outside the surface you are having fun, but
Inside. Yes.
deep down you're like, I just want to go home and read my book or watch TV and kind of just decay,
Yeah.
I think is not a good feeling
Correct.
because you deserve to go out, you deserve to have that freedom. But when we all feel like that, like sometimes to me I feel like what's the point of going out because I feel like I'm making my friends not have fun anymore.
Yeah. And then you're taking on that burden now too.
Yeah.
That's great. That's a great experience, and we're definitely going to touch on that. That's why I asked about it because neurolinguistics programming is all about learning how to tap inside and figure out what is that feeling right there. Now let's dig in and figure out what it's trying to tell you. Every sense in your body is trying to tell you something, and if you can learn to quiet your mind and hear what it's trying to tell you, then you can either fix that problem, you can acknowledge that problem, you can give love to that problem so that it doesn't have to keep happening. However, our society is completely built upon substance abuse,
Yes.
sexual abuse.
Yes.
And when I say abuse, I'm saying we are abusing ourselves. When you have so many sexual partners that you are just trying to not feel anything by feeling something. It's the same with alcohol, vaping, cigarettes, marijuana. All of that stuff is a masking coping mechanism so that you don't have to, you get to ignore that feeling. My biggest thing was food. I used to get these feelings in my stomach, and the first thing I would do would go get 5 rolled taquitos from Arsenio's because it was just enough food to make my stomach
Those taquitos though, oh,
bomb.
hands
I
down
love
are the
them.
best.
I
Still,
love them.
oh,
But it provided me just enough food and just enough hot sauce that I would stop listening to that internal feeling because now my stomach actually hurt. So we're going to talk about that stuff. But Phoenix, what do you want to do with your version of this podcast?
so, um, I kind of want to talk into a little bit of men's mental health lately.
Okay.
Kind of touch up on Sid's kind of going out. A little bit about the dating life. Okay, so being a man, a little bit in the dating life. It's not tough, but it's challenging now. Talking about how, so basically, at least between Sid and our age range, we don't have that big of a year gap of
Mm-hmm.
age. But everybody is in the same type of mentality on the dating pool
Mm.
on that. What I'm
Is
Go ahead.
it the consume based type of
No,
dating
no,
where they want to consume
no, no,
either
no.
sex or food or money?
It's everybody wants to be together, but not with the title.
Everybody wants to be together but not
So,
together. Uh-oh,
Yeah,
Cindy's
we got
chiming
some
in.
real
Here we
quick.
go.
so
But
basically, hold on, because Phoenix is talking about something really good right now.
yeah,
It's basically called a situationship. Now, I don't know
exactly.
if you know what that is.
Yes, I'm
Yes.
not that old, you guys.
Okay, so
I've had a few.
basically, let me describe it to you before I hand it back to Phoenix.
Yeah.
So basically, a situationship is when you are in a situation with a female or a male where you are on the cusp of doing things as a boyfriend or a girlfriend. So, sometimes you go on dates, but it's only late at night. Sometimes you'll go over,
But
but
it's only
it's
late at night.
but it's only late at night. Sometimes, if you're lucky enough, you'll get to their house or to that date before the sun sets. And now you're a lucky one if you get to do that. Okay? A situationship is when they never make it out of Snapchat, the Instagram DMs. They never get the phone number, they never
True.
get the FaceTime. Sometimes they do, and you have to be careful for those women and men. If they give you the phone number and want to FaceTime you all the time, call you,
Even
love
those
on
ones are
you,
scary though.
and they're super scary
Yeah.
because they'll tell you all these amazing things, and then as a female, oh, okay, so I want to talk to you about this
Mhm.
because this is crazy. As a female, when we get a little pit in our stomach, or kind of like a dog when they sniff something, like our ears pop up,
Mhm.
when we know this is about to be over by tomorrow, because y'all do like the most lovey-dovey thing, always want to hang out.
By the way, that's called love bombing.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes,
Yes.
yes, 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 yes. I know this is called love
I'll be
bombing.
honest. Sometimes I love bomb just because I'm just like, you know what? I think I
See,
got me a
and
little.
that's the
Yeah,
problem.
but I wanna.
Okay?
Yeah, I do
People
wanna
love
talk
to
about that.
love bomb just because out of spite. And I think it's because I was talking to my friend about this, is that we do it to other people because someone did it to us.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's a learned behavior. Oh my God, what is that called? Programming. So you have been programmed by the
One
first
of us.
people, and actually, you want to take it back farther. You were love bombed, right, and programmed by your parents. They gave you everything, and at certain times, but not all the time. And we'll talk about parents later. But it's a programming you have in your mind, and until you can reprogram yourself so that you're not love bombing people, you're creating a healthy attachment slowly, you can't have
Yeah.
successful relationships because the person you love bomb is going to expect that all the time, and now they expect it, and the moment you can't, and love bombing cannot be sustained over a long period of time. It just cannot. And so learning to reprogram yourself so that you do not love bomb people, and also reprogramming yourself so you don't accept the love bombing.
So this one I want to pick up back on the men.
Okay, well, yeah, go ahead.
So I want to pick back on the men. So basically, what I'm, at least for today, is just also the challenges we kind of have to go through, right? Biggest thing right now is social media, obviously,
Yeah.
right? But what is so at least from some men, it's either you become a gym bro and you don't love at all, right? That's my little phase I'm going through
That's
at the
where you're
moment.
at right now.
That's
I
where
can
I'm
tell.
at.
We
I'm on the little
okay.
gym
He's the
bro
gym bro
phase. I
today.
am the gym bro right now, where even a girl looks at me, I run and I get scared. I run with my tail between my legs at the moment. But at the same time too, is women always want so much because of their love bombing and
Their
their programming.
programming.
Sometimes they kind of want everything up front,
Yeah.
right? What I mean is not just a nice dinner, but us men have to come up, we have to put on, even if we don't have a persona, but we have to show our value sometimes,
Right.
right? even if the value isn't there, but we have to talk up a value just to even get the attention sometimes, right?
Right.
And then so that leads into, I believe, at least for my past relationships, I see the potential. They see my potential, right? We both talk up a high value, what we got. We might open up of what we have and don't have at the moment. It
So you
depends.
guys, so you feel like in your relationships, you both have levels of where you want to go because you're
Mm-hmm.
young, you have
Yeah.
potential, you have dreams, you have
Mm-hmm.
all this stuff.
Dreams, ambitions. Mm-hmm.
But then when it comes time to do some action towards those dreams,
Yes.
there are you saying that at some point you realize your partner is just a dreamer and not a doer?
Yes. And then sometimes I feel the same way though too.
Even about yourself?
About myself. It's
100%.
because sometimes it's something I kind of learned. It's just it's a game. Sometimes a little bit of a game, right? And then sometimes too, you kind of know who the person you're kind of hinting at, or talking to, right?
Well, what if you could go through a program where you can reprogram your mind to never procrastinate again?
Mm-hmm.
You go through a program where you are so confident that any thought that comes into your mind, you can create either a business or monetize it with money, or even about your own personal stuff, that your mind is so strong and caters to you first of all before anybody else. Is that a program that you would be interested
I
in?
mean, I would be interested in it a little bit, especially I'm assuming.
Especially like mental health,
Hmm.
like you,
Yeah.
um,
So, because also too, because also with I'll talk about the mental health too, is also, I mean, there's a few people out there or podcast segments or things that they talk about, but nobody really talks about how like also the guy feels kind of at the end, or how much. I mean, I do. I follow a few people, that do talk about, but kind of what we have to do to rebuild, because I can't speak on a girl. I know you guys go through your things, stuff to
mhm.
make you go through. But I feel like just at times some us guys really do take it really hard at times, and we do a self rebuild too as well. And I feel like that's what I would like to address a little bit. Um,
There's not. I feel like there's not as many resources out there
True.
for men in general,
Mm-hmm.
let alone young 20-year-old men.
Well, it's because we're told
The
we're.
advice
Well,
is
it's because we're
get
told
over
to
it,
get over
get
it.
under
Go
someone
get your
else.
money. Right? Get over it. Go get your money up. Go
Find
be with the
another
bros. Go find
girl,
another.
girl. Yeah,
Or just it's not even find another girl. I'm more monogamous, right?
yeah,
I don't like to be just in opens, right? That's
yeah.
probably a little bit of my issue. I'm 26. I'm not. I'm kind of borderline millennial,
And that's a
borderline Gen
programming
Z.
because I'm a serial monogamist. I
Yeah.
have been my entire life.
So
I
I
love being in a
So
relationship.
exactly, I do too, right? But that's my issue is because I kind of jump into something too fast,
Right.
which I get hurt in the end. I'm not saying the other person I'm with isn't hurt in the end, but it's just I love bomb. That person's love bomb within 2 to 3 months. We're like, oh, we're together when we
Yeah.
should have just
It's
especially. I'm gonna let you all know.
forever.
All the people I'll be meeting is at raves, and I know most of y'all know that is a no-no on that part. So I'll be meeting my rave bait and then be love bombing or somewhere. I'll be meeting someone. But I want to talk about how it's puppy dog love, right?
Yeah.
And my fault is I just get too attached, and if we could come to the parenting part, that love bomb. I could talk about. We can't get into that part of me growing up not seeing the most healthiest relationship. So I crave that. So that's why any girl I see, I want to do the take care of part. That great family white picket fence life. So enough on that. Like we'll get more into that, but
Yeah.
that is kind of what I want you guys to kind of take this journey with me and we'll talk about other things, but at least for now it's kind of what I'm going through at the moment and what I'm feeling and what I feel like I would like to address and talk about with you guys. So
That's awesome. I think we have three very different perspectives to pull all together, and very different aspects of life and different points in life. Like he's a father, so he can't be, should not be, I should say, he should not be dating just for
sex.
lust,
Yeah.
lust, and what can he get
Mhm.
out of it. Like he has a 2-year-old that he has to think about. You can't keep bringing women around your 2-year-old. You're going to start programming her, and that is really one of the basis of this podcast is um, stopping the dysfunctional programming that came from my grandparents and who were raised in the Depression. Imagine that programming that was about survival, about need. And then my mother, who her father was a war veteran that came from a concentration camp. So the trauma that he went through and the how she was raised was abusive, and then in turn she had 4 children and we were abused. And so I thought I was going to be this great mother and I'm never going to beat my children and I'm going to be there for them. And granted, I think I did a way better job than my mom did, but now I can look back and be like, damn, I fucked up. And it's okay because I now have the tools to help reprogram them while they still have a fighting chance to make something of their lives, the best portion of their lives. And how we're going to do that, because how do you reprogram yourself? Well, we're going to use ChatGPT. And so this is one of the last segments we'll talk about this is ChatGPT. We have all agreed, have we not, that we're going to follow ChatGPT's advice.
You guys know ChatGPT, right?
Yeah, everybody knows ChatGPT.
You don't have ChatGPT, I'm telling you, it does change.
Yes. And you've been seeing all the Instagram and TikToks. Oh, type this prompt in about your best life ever and whatever. Great.
Some of y'all not writing your essays correctly.
Right. So we're going to talk about in our very first real episode, this is our practice episode, we're going to talk about the prompts that we put in ChatGPT and the 4 or 5 follow-up questions to ChatGPT to revise it, to get yourself a schedule. Okay. We want this journey to be able to program our lives moving forward so that my granddaughter doesn't have to reprogram her life. She gets to be programmed from the jump moving forward. She doesn't have this dysfunction. Okay, so I want to talk about my outline that I have over the next 12 months that ChatGPT gave me. And I'm not going to go into detail. I just, these are some of the basic things that I asked ChatGPT that I want to accomplish in the next 12 months. My Neuralite Wellness Center, which is where I help people reprogram their minds and their subconscious minds and get rid of negative emotions, anger, fear, sadness, hurt, shame, guilt, grief. Oof. Get rid of all those negative emotions in your body and then also remove the limiting decisions that come with that, which can be, for me, I had about 27 of them when I did my breakthrough, which I'm not valuable, I'm abandoned, I'm not worth loving, I have to work hard for my money. That was a tough one for me because I always felt I'm such a hard worker, but why is it not paying off, right? So there's all these limiting decisions that are built upon us. Even me, I'm not good with money, and that related back to me losing a $20 bill when I was 5 or 6 years old. I lost a $20 bill. In my entire life, for 40 years, I thought I was no good with money. And actually, I'm fucking fantastic with money. So I also want to host a successful podcast. I want to close houses as a realtor. I am a real estate investor. I still want to continue to do that. And ChatGPT gave me an 80% completion rate, that if I can do all of these things and follow ChatGPT for 12 months, I will 80 to 85% accomplish my goal. And I'm down for the challenge. I am so down for the challenge. And I'll share all of that stuff with you next year. And then personally, ChatGPT, I asked it, how can I help my children reprogram themselves? I want to travel. I want to start dating next year. But I have to learn how to date. I've never dated. I've been with a few people in my life, and then I ended up marrying with them, or I was in these long-term relationships, but I didn't really date. I didn't get to know these people on a deeper level to see if I'm even really compatible. So that's going to be interesting. We're literally all 3 of us are single at the moment. So I want to reprogram myself, and reprogramming is not a one-stop shop. You are not going to go to a 6-week session, a breakthrough session, and get all this wonderful learnings and this clearing out of all this emotional stuff from inside of you. And you have to maintain that. You literally have to continue looking within and building and building and building upon your new reprogramming. So that's my 12-week goal. My 12-month goal that I have ChatGPT worked on for me. So Sydney, what do you feel is your 12-month plan? Just lightly, what are you going to ask ChatGPT to help you with?
Again, my chat GBT is a little too far away from me, but I think I can wing this. I asked my chat GBT, um, like my 12-month goal to try something new every day to make me more motivated to get out of bed, to do something fun and different. So,
Did it tell you to do any type of skydiving on the first day?
no, it didn't tell me to skydive, but it told me to start with the basics, to get up in the morning, drink some tea, not coffee. Um,
That's a good one.
I was like, okay, I don't like tea, but I'll try it. Um, and then to go to the gym, take a walk, uh, take time for myself in the morning or at night before I go to bed in a positive manner. I think I'm gonna do it at night because I do a lot during the day. So I'd rather take some moment at night before I go to bed and go to bed in a positive headspace so I can wake up in a positive
100%.
headspace.
I agree with that.
But yeah, I want to try something new. Not probably not every day, but maybe like something big and fun once a month, and just to start working on myself. So when I am out there in the big world, I know how to
You're already at the big apple.
navigate.
You're
Yeah,
already in the big apple.
I know, right?
Okay, Phoenix, so what is your, summary of what you want to do in the next 12
Well, let me
months?
check
What do you
my
want?
handy dandy notes,
Okay, good.
from
I'm
Blues.
glad to see you have notes.
Yeah, from my little Blues Clues, you know. Um, so I had ChatGPT kind of give me a little bit of something. So it came in kind of give me a long list. I kind of did like a 12-month, goal or a 1 year goal. My biggest thing I did want to take out of it, I just how the mental space I'm kind of in
Mhm.
moment. Biggest thing is my fitness and mental awareness. It's told me to, get myself obviously in a routine, get me a fitness plan. It wants me to engage into like a lot of public speaking for my mental awareness. So, which was actually kind of shocking because you guys both know me. I don't ever shut up.
Yeah.
So, but I think it's more because I'm more here my mom,
Yeah.
my sister.
You're supported here.
I'm supported, also my friends. So I've been kind of using that already, kind of just talking. I
Mhm.
don't know how that's kind of weird how it says that. Like it literally says for fitness and mental health, refine your routine. For mental resilience, engage in type activities that promote mental resilience, like public speaking or workshops.
Yeah.
So
Well, this
yeah,
is your version of a workshop. Well,
exactly.
getting it out is half of the battle.
Um,
Speaking about it.
yeah. Another thing is obviously this podcast.
Yeah.
I kind of want this to go. I do kind of want to. I have, this is our little um, bubble, right? And then
Mhm.
I am our brainstorm, right?
Yeah.
Our something that as a family, but the more I'm kind of doing this, the more I'm getting a little more comfortable, the more I could see I can kind of do
We can get better. This is
get
just
better.
pre. This is a pre-podcast
Exactly,
podcast.
podcast, free podcast. But I see myself kind of doing this a little more. I didn't realize I kind of
It's very smooth and easy
smooth
for us.
exactly
Yeah,
for us.
we have always been a very close
But
unit.
I think basically, but my biggest goal by the end of the year is to really get into the real estate business.
Okay.
Probably having at least my first property sold and my first rental.
Well, that's good.
So that is, but that would be, yeah, but my number one would be my fitness and mental health right now.
Awesome.
So,
Okay, you guys. So I brought these little handy dandy books for us. And Sydney, here's yours, pretty pink. And
I'll get the pink one.
Phoenix, that's yours. Okay, so these are some very simple assignment books, and I got them for like I think $1.50 at Office Depot. What I like about it is it says my weekly plan. It's Monday through Friday, and there's note sections in it. There's no dates, so if you skip a week or you're on vacation, you're not losing out on space. But it gives you enough time that enough space that we're going to talk about waking up in the morning, and you're going to write in here the things you completed for the day. So you got up, walked your dog, Sydney. And that's exercise. Get up and walking the dog, right? Or you went to the gym, and then I want you to write down one affirmation or one, what's it called when, not affirmation, what's the, like an I am, like,
Those are affirmations.
I forgot the word. I'm gonna have to start that segment over again.
It's fine.
Okay, we'll just keep going.
All right.
Okay, so this is giving you space for you to be able to write in here and track weekly over the next year so you can see your progress, because I have a hard time with this too. I hated journaling, so I had to work on that. That is a limiting decision, that I hated journaling, right? Because it was tied to school. It was tied to, I was scared someone else was going to read my stuff, invasion of privacy. I didn't have privacy growing up as a kid, so I didn't like journaling or writing in a diary. But this is going to be a little bit different. This is accountable action, and we're going to have the world hold us accountable, because we're saying we're going to follow ChatGPT for 12 months, and we need proof. We need to show you guys that this is what we're doing every single day, so that if we're progressing, you guys can progress too. Okay, so we're going to switch over into naming the podcast. So we've had a couple of good names floating around, and I tasked everybody to come up with 2 or 3 so we can discuss what the name of our podcast should be. So for me, I have a couple of suggestions. One, I really liked Family Threads, Unraveling Life Together. Okay, and then the other one was Growth, Grit, and Giggles. So we've been through a lot.
I don't like that second word.
Grit?
Grit. I don't know why. You know, like people don't like the word moist.
Yeah.
Grit is that word.
Okay, she doesn't like moist or grit. Oh my gosh.
I don't like that word.
Grit?
No,
Moist?
Moist.
Some people